Winning ugly is still winning, and the Chiefs got it done. They win the AFC West with this matchup in dropping the Bengals. A lot of contention in that ball game. We're going to talk about the pre, the during, the after, and what's coming here. We're going to answer some of your questions. We're going to review our notes tonight live on our Chiefs drop Bengals. This was touch and go most of the ball game. I have to say I was not confident in it. I hope that you were, folks. If you are just joining us, got a bit of a late start, but welcome on in. Make sure you like, sub, and hit the bell right here if you're new to us. This is Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. You can support the channel here if you want to get some of the Reaper gear, the Mahomes logo, or if you want to get the RGR stuff. That's all available, and Happy New Year to everyone. Chiefs gave you a present. They got that W done. I thought it was I gotta say, abs for me or you know, 3/4 or whatever, but did you have confidence or were you just kind of waiting to see what they did? That's really the big question.
So 1 second quickly, Avery.
Sure,
I will clean your ears when we're done. Promise. Okay.
That's what happens.
I know you're getting
Fuck your MVP. Okay. I like that. Dirty.
Yeah. So just kill brush teeth, please. Thank you. So yeah, I was very worried in the first quarter. Very worried about this football game in the first quarter. It was not going the way that I think anybody expected it to and really wanted it to. But one more thing.
Agreed. It's just one of those.
You tell them.
It's just one of those deals that
right here.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you too.
Right here.
I think you got to brush your teeth.
The Chiefs won the
game. Yeah. Everybody say hi to Avery. Always having a good time with her around. So excuse the studio. I'm kind of in flux here as I'm making some changes. Tried to work all day, didn't quite get it done before the ball game, but they certainly gave us a run for what was our concern, what was turned out to be a win. It was not pretty. And I said it from the top, and I want to say it again. It's an ugly win, but it's a win, and I couldn't care less that it was ugly. Am I disturbed at some things? Yes, absolutely. But you had more points than the other team at the end of the ball game, and that's all that I care about at this point, right?
This is how the Chiefs were going to have to win football games this season. This is it. This was a game you had to win this way because your defense has to go through some adversity a little bit, which most of the season they've been kind of locked down. The Bengals came out early and said, we're going to take advantage of some of the things that we saw. And then we saw the rotations. They were switching off. They were handing off receivers. And it was confusing Browning. Like he could not get the ball where he wanted to. That was allowing the defense to get there. This is the Chiefs right now. This is the team. Play good defense, run the damn ball, and then make a few plays here and there. They had their issues on third down tonight. They had some much better execution on plays. The offensive line, I think, had some moments where obviously the pressure got to Mahomes a little bit, but I think for the majority of the game, they were a plus tonight. I think they were a plus. And when you have an offensive line that's a plus, you're going to win more football games with Patrick Mahomes than you're going to lose, especially when Isaiah Pacheco, who, again, the first half of the game, when they had that drive that they were like, hey, we're going to run out and score a touchdown. And then they came out and threw the ball 3 times. I'm just like, what are we doing? Why do we have to keep doing this? Why do we have to keep seeing this? But they found some plays. They got some inside zone going. They got a little bit of, really it was attacking right up the middle. They just said, we're going to run the ball down your throat. And they did, to the tune of 130 nearly yards for Isaiah Pacheco, which is fantastic. So this was the game. Again, you have to win this way. The Chiefs have to win this way. And they had to show you a little bit here that regardless of them not getting in the end zone, they could trust their defense to go back out there and get the ball back to the offense to seal this football game away, essentially, because field goals were what it was going to take. And that's all they needed to at the end of the day, which I can't believe I'm saying it with Patrick Mahomes, but they have to win ugly. They have to win ugly, and I'm really happy to see them come through. And honestly, it was kind of clutch. Defense was clutch. The Harrison Butker was clutch. Like, hell yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Yanni, thank you, and Happy New Year to you too. You're going to be way ahead of us in South Africa, right? So I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in with us. Franklin, nice to see you. Let's definitely go.
Let's go.
There's a lot here. There's a ton here. And I will say this. I agree with you in that I didn't think I'd have to say that about Patrick Mahomes. I don't like the inefficiency of not being able to get it in the end zone more than he did. Certainly, folks, if you've been following us, you can understand at least part of my frustration, because I'm going to share with you one of the reasons that I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
And it's this. If you were with us on the game plan, it was a late one. It was yesterday. But we put in, and we had $1,000 on the line, at least 986. The only guy who didn't come through for us was Patrick Mahomes because he didn't throw enough and he didn't score enough. We nailed everything else, including Browning, Mixon, Rasheed, and Travis. But we came up just a little bit short in that department. So I'm a little flustered, but this is what I like to see.
Yeah.
For those of you who have been wondering, Ryan, what are you talking about? What does it matter if we run the ball? This 130 yards from Pops is what it's all about. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for more. He was getting downhill. There was more man blocking tonight. I didn't see a ton of power, but I did notice it was nicely sprinkled in there. They still ran inside-outside zone like they always want to, but I just saw some straight-ahead man blocking, and that's what I like to see. And that's what allows you, even if you're not getting like huge breaking plays that continue to fall forward 2 yards at a time, 3 yards at a time. And that's how you get to 137.2 per carry on the day. Yes, there were some big chunks, and kudos to him for that. But it allowed, and exactly what we talked about in the game plan, it allowed Patrick to be efficient. Only 8 incompletions from him. Yeah. And yes, a couple of those had to be throwaways when he was pressured. Still not comfortable there. But it allowed you to play the game that you had to play. Like you said, this is how they have to win. It allowed them to play the way that they had to win. And I'm all for that. I don't care if it's ugly. It's going to be just fine. And I think we'll go through my notes, but I did want to put this out here. You know, this is the first time that I can say all season they actually followed our game plan this time. They listened to what we were talking about and just took it for what it's worth. Dumbed it down. We heard a report come out before the ballgame. Hey, they're going to simplify this week. Well, you've been hearing me and Dan talk about that for the last, 3 weeks at least, and it worked. This is what it can look like. Now, this is a good team. This isn't a great team that they just beat.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Without Joe Burrow, this is not the Baltimore Ravens who rolled the Dolphins today. So it's a step forward. It's not the ultimate step forward. What do you take away from your notes as the big things that they now can build on that were accomplished in this game?
I think that they did a good job of overcoming their own mistakes. They still had a couple of them creep up in this game, but they went back to it. They missed MVS. Let's be honest. MVS dropped another big play and a touchdown possible earlier in the football game, but they kept firing. They hit Justin Watson, who nearly dropped that football too, by the way. They hit him on that deep route, and then Rashee Rice on another man-on-man coverage, just deep down the right-hand sideline. I told you guys, since week 10, when you guys listen to the game plan, I told you since week 10, they were one of the top teams in the league that played single high safeties. And Lou Anarumo did not go back to what was statistically successful for the Chiefs or for the Bengals against the Chiefs on their offense. They kept that single high safety out there for a good portion of this football game, and they got burned a couple of times. They almost hit Justin Watson on another crosser that just, I think he was just got jarred loose. So they found that. Obviously the fumble earlier in the football game, but they came back after that fumble. I know they didn't score a touchdown after that, but they drove down the field. They put themselves in positions to score the football, which that's all you can ask from a team that's consistently turned the ball over every single week for weeks on end. Mahomes doesn't throw a pick in this football game. And again, with the drops, they kept finding ways to kind of correct their own problems. And when they go back to the run game finally in the second half, and they still are ripping off some runs, they're getting, 7, 6, 5 yards a time in some of these drives. It shows you that maybe some of the self-reflection after losing to the Raiders was what it took. The rock bottom, if you will. Maybe that was the rock bottom for them. There's still some things to clean up. Quite a few things, honestly. Quite a few. But I'm looking at the teams that are in the playoffs right now. Obviously, the Bills can still secure the 2 seed with a win over the Miami Dolphins next weekend. But you've got all these teams. I know the Ravens are going to be their own entity, but the Chiefs took the Bills to the wire with the issues that they had. That game can be won and over, whatever you think. But against the Dolphins, they beat the Dolphins, a full-strength Dolphins team for the most part. They're not full strength right now. They're hurt. They're really hurting. So while everything is still happening to the Chiefs offense at times, it does feel like this game was at least a step in the right direction to being able to come out on top in games where they still beat themselves. And when you can overcome that within the football game itself, and you don't really let it get you down. There was some fire in this game on the defensive side early. They really stepped up after that. They did a fantastic job. And that fire is just, it's needed. They desperately needed it, in my opinion, on the defensive side, the offensive side, just getting in each other, kind of going at it and being a team in some of these things. You guys are a family. Families fight. Like, they fight. And I'm totally okay with it as long as you guys keep it professional and get back out there. That's what they did. So at the end of the day, I know it's not what everyone wanted to see in terms of touchdown wise. You can't ask for much more after that fumble, in my opinion. You can't ask for much more.
I agree. You had to overcome that. And you had to compensate for that. Yeah. But that's exactly where I was going. Yes, you lost the turnover battle, right? You were -1 in this ball game. But Patrick didn't throw an interception. I talked about it yesterday, and I said that he wouldn't because I did feel like he was just straightening it out. I think that's a big step forward. That play that the ball came out on, and it was a lost fumble, that's on Wanye. He wasn't terribly laid out of his stance, but he was a bit laid out of his stance. It wasn't gross, but it was just enough. When Henderson's coming off like that, you don't have time to even be late, period. So Wanye struggled tonight. Let's be real. He gave up a number of plays
absolutely
that I think are going to have to be compensated for. And I know there's folks, we're going to try not to get to the draft questions tonight, folks. We're going to try to keep it here, or at least I'll circle back to them later. We're going to do our normal live, but then I got to do Locked On Chiefs. Maybe I'll come back to them after that because we don't have time to get into the full draft thing. But left tackle is still definitely an option along with wide receiver. There are multiple needs. There's going to be multiple needs. It will probably be like it was in this last draft. Whatever is available to them, whether they move up or whether they can stay in pat, whatever it is, they will do what they can. We are going to get to some of your questions, but I want to make some pointed comments on some of the notes that were done. We talked about George Karlaftis. George Karlaftis ended up, I believe, they officially gave him 1.5. I think that will change.
Yeah,
I think so as well. So he will have broken that 10-sack mark as of tonight. Love to see Turk Wharton get one, by the way. I've been waiting for that. And it's been a slow progression for him, but it does feel like he's starting to get back. He looks a little bit quicker. Amenahu's best game of the season, certainly. And like you said, the fire that he and Willie took at each other, I think actually got the rest of everybody lit up. Because
absolutely,
if you look at the game flow and the way that it comes down, yes, overall, if we look at the offensive stat numbers, total plays, where'd it go? I just had it up here. Total plays are one thing. You know, you can be worried about that, but that's fine. They're better on third down. I think you mentioned that yourself. They're 50%, which is way more than we've seen the Chiefs. Honestly, at least 4 of those were Browning himself. I don't think they're prepared for him to scramble as much. They did adapt. But this is what it really stands out to me is, yes, all that is true, but it comes down to the Chiefs doubled them in per play gains, in number of yards per play. And that's how you compensate for that. Holding onto the ball. If it wasn't for that turnover, this isn't a ball game. They win by 14 points easy. This actually, I think I called it 27-17. I think this was as pretty close as I've been this season to being right on. And I'm happy to say that because you let Mixon get a little bit of yards going. You see here, he got 65. Okay. That's a pretty good day out for what has been the weakness for this defense. So the defense took their lumps. And what my notes are really, I just want to show the colors here. You guys know how I color code. And if you want to see these up close, you want to have them, you can download them all. You just join the memberships at the rookie level or above, and you guys get all these. It starts out, and you can see here, it's red. Some of it's hot red. Hot red is a very, very bad thing. And you can see this is more laid out of his stance. You'll get the details. And then it gets to the second half. The first 2 drives were a little rough, and then boom. This is what you see. Other than one deep pass, that last drive, it cleans up very nicely. And you don't have to have a ton of green. Those are plus plays, but you didn't have the negatives. And that's where the tide turned. For me, I feel you can build on this. The biggest plays of the night for me were the big downhill run, Pacheco going left, breaking off a Trace Smith's block. The second one where Tooney pulled and broke him loose. Those 2 plays for Pacheco and the big one for Rice. You tell me, are there bigger plays than those 3 that you had?
I not necessarily. I don't think so. I think those were the two biggest. Like not even just because of yards, but because of how they attacked. Like this was get that first drive was maybe the most important drive of the Chiefs season right now, in my opinion. And unfortunately, they weren't able to consistently get that going and consistently do that. But it does show you once again that yes, they kind of prepared properly for this football game. Again, I don't think if Mahomes fumbles that football that they're going to go 3 and out and just kind of he was about to throw the football somewhere. Someone was open and he was about to throw it. I don't know who it was, obviously, because we don't get to see that yet. But at the end of the day, this for the offensive side was still a step in the right direction. And they punted one time after they fumbled the football, and that's a positive. That is a huge positive against Lou Anarumo, who's done a fantastic job against this team specifically. They haven't been good this year, but I knew that they were going to play well against the Chiefs because he knows really how to scheme and fool the offensive line. He did a great job of doing that multiple times and getting blitzers through lines. We saw Patrick Mahomes call out the nickel multiple times and then just let him blitz and just not pick him up properly. That's on Jawan Taylor, in my opinion.
Multiple plays were
just not even acknowledging that they got guys blitzing. When I understand what you're doing. You guys are blocking down. There's a shift, but you have to. A quarterback tells me something here. He says something. That's on you. You got to do that. You have to follow your responsibilities and do your job as a pass protection guy. So I'm confused. I was frustrated with that. And then up and down from Wanya Morris, still really good in the run game. I think he battled today in pass protection. He battled today. He had some really bad snaps. He battled much better today than he did against the Raiders. He got his ass kicked against the Raiders, and he never fought back. I think he fought back today against Trey Hendrickson. Had a couple really good snaps and allowed Patrick to get back there. But at the end of the day, lumps, you got to take him as a rookie. He's taken some lumps over the last few weeks, and that doesn't rule out the Chiefs' need going forward this season. But I'm ready. I'm ready for this iteration of the Chiefs offense. I'm ready for this run game. We've been talking about it, and we've been really hammering it down that they have to get downhill. They have to go attack, be physical. They did that today. I know it's not a great defense. I know it's not a good run defense. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I know it's not any of that stuff. But even bad defenses, the Chiefs have let bully them.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Raiders are specifically good up front outside of Max Crosby. They got bullied to hell last week. They did not let this team bully them. And that was a huge step in the right direction. So all of the things that we've seen this season, you got to make the dance, right? You just got to make it. We've all seen this happen before. And I'm still not at the point where I think that they could beat the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think they can do that right now. But it's one game. Outside of the Ravens, I think they can beat anybody on the AFC side in one football game. And this defense, when they take some lumps and then they correct it, I'm not entirely sure there's any defense better right now outside of Baltimore in terms of correcting and then getting downhill and playing. So that defense gives them a shot in every game that they play. And that's exactly the kind of team you want to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd even say that they'd give them a run for their money. Folks, the pressers are going on. I am going to jump over to Locked On Chiefs when they are done. When we have Matt Derrick, he'll be live with us. A good pause for the cause, and then we're going to take questions. I'm drinking a winter ale from Fremont, I guess, to get it focused. I should hold it back here. Celebration and Happy New Year to all of you. Dan, you look like you have something tasty in front of you.
So I've got the Nutcracker that you had at
yes.
This is really nice. It's a really nice Boulevard Nutcracker. And my wife got me these beer glasses engraved. This one is Kansas City Chiefs written on it, and the other one is my name. So like these are really, I've wanted these. I love these glasses. I don't care if it makes me look like a beer snob. I love it. I love these things so much, and this is delicious.
It helps taste and it helps aroma. There's nothing wrong with it. Folks, every super chat gets an answer tonight. We know we have a bunch stacking up. Pressers are coming to a conclusion. I'm getting messages. So we're going to hit a couple of others. We're going to hit all the super chats and we'll wrap up with anything that we can. Nagy did look like he came in and listened. I can't tell you that for sure. Coach, reach out to me if you did. I would love to hear it. But they got on track, and that's exactly what they needed, Casey. And Happy New Year to you as well, buddy. JJ, the first scripted drive was a bit of both. Yes, that's true. This is Andy Reid, though. Andy doesn't stick with the run. That's why I'm always complaining about it. And that is his MO from day one. He's a West Coast guy, and that's just kind of the way that they are. Scotty, I love this comment. And I do think that's coming. He could have played today. I thought I saw him on the field. I didn't track many snaps though, Dan, did you?
He was on the field one time that I caught. Like, I don't know if he was on there any more than that. It was just the one time.
Fair enough. Our mod Gary Holland's in the house. Everybody say hi to Gary. Give him a hand for helping us out and running this thing. We are definitely looking forward to a happy new year. Thank you, D Hoop. Appreciate you, buddy. I'm going to celebrate this win, the positives instead of the negatives. Very good. Very good. Congrats on the 8th straight division title. And that's always fun to have. I'll probably have to put something together with a logo for 8 straight. Teddy, you're our first super chat of the night. I'm sorry it took so long to get to you. Should they rest Kelsey, 87, or let him chase 1K? It's only 16 yards away. He should definitely get that. They should play him just enough and get him out.
Force feed him a couple times and then get him out. Force feed him a couple times, get him out.
Agreed. I'm just writing down on my notes 8 titles t-shirt idea.
There we
I know
go.
Callie, we're gonna get yours too. Because I'm sure Callie, you got a couple of good ideas. You always do. Thank you guys. Appreciate you, Teddy. And thank you, Peter. Appreciate you being here. We try to give you the honest goods as soon as we possibly can. I know that's not always timely, but thank you very much for being here with us. We appreciate you. And there's Callie. He said, Happy New Year, fellas. Here's a round on me. Cheers, brother. Ryan, as long as we don't attend the game, we win. Make the shirt. Okay. Tell me exactly what you want on the shirt, and I will make it. I will try to do that actually tomorrow while I'm waiting for the Huskies to kick off. That's going to be my game of the day. And thanks for the support, Callie. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, Callie, so much.
And thanks for not going to the game either.
No offense, but thank you.
Des, thank you, sir. Always good to see you. If KC wins next week and Miami loses, does KC get the 2? No. They best they can do is 3. And they're pretty, unless everybody loses. If they drop next week, which they should not against the Chargers, talk about the Chargers when it's Charger time, they'll end up in the 3. They'll have to go to Buffalo, should Buffalo survive, and they'll have to go to Baltimore. That's looking like, unless somebody knocks heads that I just don't see happening.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it's going to lay out. Let's see here. Thank you, Des. Appreciate you. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate the support. At this point, I don't care about how good the wide receiver speed or route running is. I just want them to catch the damn ball. You and us both.
Excuse me. Dude.
Do your job.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on right now with MBS. Like, why we have to keep doing this. We have a guy who is dropping the ball every single week and trying to tell Patrick Mahomes where he wants the football. Like, can we be honest about the situation here? Patrick Mahomes is getting knocked to the ground and throwing the football to you. High schoolers can catch that football. High schoolers, you're wide open. There is nobody around you. We need to have a conversation in the locker room about what this player is doing for your team. He is doing nothing. He's doing nothing. Okay?
Agreed.
Get him on the bench. I don't really care at this point. I don't care who you bring up. I don't care who you play in front of him. It doesn't matter. There is nobody on this practice squad, this roster, that can't give you more than MVS from a carrying perspective and a fire perspective and actually catching the damn ball. I'm done.
I can get with you because evidently I spelled it wrong because I can't find it in my notes, but this was a simple play, especially the one that somebody tried to defend him online to me. That the ball was behind him, and even Nate Burleson said something. It was slightly. This is a gauntlet catch. It was a 90-degree. Was it right in front of him? No. But it wasn't like he had to stop or slow down. He was in stride. It's exactly what they do at the combine every single year, going both directions, because you have to do that in this league.
They do it for a reason. You have to be able to catch the ball from anywhere that it's thrown to you because you are paid to catch the football. How much do you paid MVS to catch a football? A lot of money.
Too many. If I broke it down by catch or target, I would be sad.
Oh,
I'm not gonna.
I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to
Are
do
you?
that
Are you?
for a tweet, and we're going to talk about this on Twitter.
Okay. All right.
Don't take my ideas, Jesus. Don't do it.
Happy New Year, Jesus. No, I won't sit either of them. Honestly, they need the rhythm, and they need to get into this mentality, attacking down the field. Like we said, they set him up with the run. They leaned on Pacheco. They hit the screens, and then they got chunks. When they got their looks and when they got man, they took advantage of it. There was nothing simpler than Rashee Rice's big catch. because they got a man look with a single high. He beat inside press and he took off down the field. That's all you have to do if you get the look that you want. They have to stay in that mentality. So I do want to see Mahomes and Kelsey play next week. I want to see them continue that rhythm. Do they have to play the whole thing? No. I'm perfectly fine if you yank them when you're up. You should be up giant in this game. I don't care if Justin Herbert's on the field as much as I think Herbert's good. It shouldn't matter. One mistake. We made one less mistake tonight. Nicotine, I appreciate you.
I think they made a few less than usual. Honestly, there weren't. I'm going to do everything I possibly can. We're going to knock on wood a couple different times. There weren't holding penalties on the Chiefs' offensive line today. There weren't.
You better knock on
zero. I did. I went ahead and went. I did all of it. There were none. Are we sure?
I mean, hey, there were some phantom calls out there. Let's be real. But
there absolutely were. I mean, that intentional grounding can't get called. That can't get called. No, let's be honest with ourselves. That's a terrible That's a terrible call.
Oh God, it's a flaming bag on the porch. That's terrible. Clifford, appreciate the support, brother. First time making a live chat. Longtime fan. Well, welcome and glad you made it. Do they start Rashee Rice next week to get him 1K yards? Yes, absolutely. He definitely should be in there, and he should only need one catch now to pull that off.
Just one.
I think Rashee has continued to improve. It's been slight. It hasn't been a dramatic burst. He's been slowly progressing. And I do think I did do a live breakdown on the first touchdown play because it is important for everybody involved. That will go up here in an hour or two. As soon as I'm done with the Locked On Chiefs show, I just got to edit it a little bit and it'll be up. And the key here is on that touchdown pass, it was a simple arrow route. Again, it was simple downhill attacking from the running back position. But the two keys were they doubled Kels and they doubled Rashee Rice. Yeah. They have recognized, as defensive coordinators around the league recognize he is the one who will hurt you. We're going to try to take him away too.
It was a really weird point in the game where they threw him a football, honestly, like a quick pass to get him in space. And then we heard crickets. You want to know why? Because the Bengals were like, no.
We're shading that safety over.
We're not doing it anymore. And then that's when you started to see they tried the deep ball to MVS. They got the deep ball to Justin Watson. They said, well, we can't just continue to do it if they're not going to throw him the football. And as soon as they got away from that, they said, you take the shot, Rice. You take it. You get man coverage. You beat this guy outside and inside. It was a fantastic release. He jabbed outside, moved the hips to the outside, and then releases underneath. Quick little hand movement. Oh boy. The only reason he didn't score touchdowns because Dax Hill runs like a 4.3. So
yeah, it's not that he's slow. It's that Dax Hill is a very good athlete.
Thank you, Cliff. Appreciate the support.
You tell me on film, I think that pass for Rashee, I think that's about the highest gear that I saw from him in college as well.
Correct. So, that's as fast as he is. Like he's not slow. He's not slow. Like he's not slow by any stretch, but most corners, most safeties, he's gonna score there. And unfortunately, when you get, they have Dax Hill and DJ Turner who run 4.3 and 4.27. Turner's a 4.27 guy, so they have two guys that can chase him down. But most guys aren't catching him in that race. So it was hard to watch, especially for those of us who had Mahomes on the underdog with the higher point total. It was like that would have been nice.
I'll sacrifice my $55 for that, though. I'll take
it.
Thank you, Clifford. Appreciate you, Brandon. Thank you. Mahomes hasn't been throwing the best ball sometimes this year. You're right. Especially his throwaways tonight looked poor. In the dirt, not out of bounds where they ought to be. Again, almost a hangover from last week when he held on too long and threw it to someone. There's definitely something going on with Patrick Mahomes. I don't know what it is. Is it a hangover from the high ankle? Is there something else? Is it just the pressure? If they can attack vertically like they did today, if they can rely on Pacheco and the O-line can come out and bash people, this was a good defensive front they faced. Is it as good as Baltimore? No. But I would put it up against Miami's. So I feel like that's decent, and they can do this again. They can run downhill. If you do that, you set Patrick up for success, even with these wide receivers.
Yeah, and a lot of times those balls were dying. It's because he's throwing off balance. True. Mahomes is in the pocket. He's moving a lot. He does not feel comfortable in the pocket for good reason. Let's be honest. The last month has not been good for him. So he's getting back into some old habits where he's drifting a bit, he's moving to his right too soon, and you see him fall off of these throws. So every time, like the one to Travis that died, pretty sure he's moving while he's throwing it. There was one to the right where it just died in front of the receiver. He's drifting to the right. He's drifting back a little bit. He needs to correct that, but he also needs to be able to trust the offensive line. I do think today was a better step in the right direction for Mahomes to be able to get a little more trust in the players and the offensive line, but it's got to be consistent now. You have to have a little bit of consistency, and that's been the biggest issue with them this season.
I agree with you. Steven, thank you for your support. Not to brag, but the Chiefs are undefeated when my fiance paints my nails for Chiefs games.
Let's go.
Let's see it, Steven. I want to see them. Throw them up somewhere. Put a link in the chat. We would like to see
next week, man. If you got a Twitter, make sure to tag us on it. You guys got In Harm's Way 19, and we got to see this. And you can't let her not now. You can't.
Yeah, that option's out the door.
There's nothing you can do. I mean, nothing you can do now.
You're just going to have pretty nails. That's just the way it is. Happy 8th year to you and Katie as well, and happy New Year to everyone.
Absolutely.
Jonathan Chapman, thank you, sir. Appreciate the support, buddy. Can't wait for Hardman to come back. We could use his speed downfield. MVS has completely lost confidence in his hands. Dropped 2 possible TDs tonight. At least one, yeah. I mean, I do think he turns the corner on.
He was laying out for the other one. Like, he wasn't going to score on that one, but it
was
there. You want to know why he dropped it? It's because his hands are this far apart. Right. He's not looking. He's not. You guys heard me earlier. My rant. I'm done. I'm done. He is not. She should not be on an NFL roster at this point. I'm done with MBS. He should.
At this point, I would rather see McCole make those drops, and he might, than I would MBS. But I agree with you, Jonathan. I'm ready for them to let Hardman eat. I think they were just taking a little bit of precaution tonight, just to keep him, because he's just back in that thumb. You know, McColl's not exactly the sturdiest of players, so you don't want to stress him out too much. You know what I mean? William, thank you for your support, buddy. Happy New Year to you as well, and all the RGR members. I think hitting on those long passes and having some calls go their way help build their confidence as an offense. Love the truer in the D. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm with you. I love the D period, so I'm very happy for that.
Trust in the D.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't know that the calls affected a ton, but hitting a couple of big plays, particularly in the run game, that you are not known for doing the last few years. That was big confidence-wise. And I always go back. Offensive linemen make their living on when they can beat somebody one-on-one. That's what changes an offensive line. When they can out-physical or out-angle or out-athletic opposite and win on the ground. That gives them confidence. It bolsters the whole damn thing. There's not enough that can be said about what running well does for your offensive line. So I think the whole team reaps it, William, absolutely. But I do think the offensive line in particular saw that, hey, we can get this done. We can be those guys.
You want to know why they pull off some big plays in the passing game? They kept the single high safety up there for a reason. The Chiefs were gashing them. They couldn't just sit back in two high safety, because if they did, they'd get run on. So the Chiefs kind of forced their hand. We haven't seen them do that. I know they went away from it on the second drive, but we got nearly 20 carries out of Isaiah Pacheco. That's not something you see a ton of in this iteration of the Mahomes offense, but this is what they need. Honestly, going forward, yeah, right? Just kind of get those done up. You need to be able to Isaiah Pacheco needs to have close to 20 carries every single week, in my opinion. Because you have to show defenses, you say, hey, we understand who we are, but we're going to force you to respect the run game a little bit. Because the games, go back to the Eagles game where they ran the ball efficiently. That was a good first half for them. They got away from being able to throw the football against the Eagles, but that's another game they should have won. But they leaned on the run game, and Pacheco was fantastic. They leaned on the run game here again, and we're seeing the fruits of their labor. If they can force defenses to say, hey, we can't just sit in too high safety, you want to know what's going to happen? Oh, we got a couple of deep ball shots here every single game because they're open. Even MVS, who shouldn't be on the roster, was wide open when he dropped the football, was wide open on the left-hand side because the defense or the defense had to stay in single high.
Yeah. Hey, They got a 4th and 1. They got a 3rd and 1 with Isaiah Pacheco taking a handoff as a fullback, motioned in from an H. It was beautiful. They have found just go forward, figure your shit out, and go hit somebody. And they were able to convert tonight. I'm super excited about that. Sorry for the cussing, folks. I know it's a win. I shouldn't be in that mood. But Bruce Weiner, thank you. Gifted 5 memberships to our fans. We appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you.
If you get one of those memberships and you like what you see and you want to upgrade, Tracy just asked me this yesterday. All you have to do is convert and upgrade. You want all the behind the scenes and all the extra videos and all that, go to the rookie level and above, and you'll get there. We are going to be doing some live streaming come playoffs of other teams' games. We're going to do that for the starters and above. So if you guys want to upgrade, get in there. We're going to keep it kind of tight to begin with, and we'll see how it goes, see whether YouTube shuts us down or not. Because last time we did one, you guys saw what happened. So we appreciate you. Tom, thanks, buddy. Nice to see you again. Looks like Andy got the run the damn ball hat. I know, and I need to convert the one that I have for the shirt because I kind of emphasized the wrong word. I made Andy super, super, super big. And I think I need to back off of that because now it seems like he's getting it. Jace, I love the fact that you stole that. I'm a little concerned. Nobody should have my face on their account. I apologize. But hey, Red Zone Solutions. I think that 3rd and 1 showed, again, some creativity, lining Pacheco out. It was Rice that was at the deep tailback position. And they just kind of made everybody think. And I think that froze some of the defense, particularly the linebackers. And once you had enough push from the offensive line, he was able to punch through. I love that kind of thing. That is more the type of thing that I think you can use in the red zone.
On 3rd and short, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, I'm running the football. No defense right now is expecting you to run the ball. On 3rd and 3 early in the game, I thought they should have run the ball. I guarantee you they would have gotten it. I guarantee you they would have. But instead they throw it. They're not going to. Like, they're not. But I think the threat has to still be there of them running the ball in 3rd and short and 3rd and 3, and maybe like 3rd and intermediate. Because look at the Detroit Lions. I mean, everyone knows that they're going to do that. And the Cowboys kind of clamped on them on Saturday. But they've done it very successfully because teams play off on it on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. Look at what the Chiefs faced today. You saw a couple drop 8s. You can get a first down. You may even score on a drop 8 coverage on 3rd and 3. I'm saying should be able to do that a little bit more. That might be something we see next week, a little bit of experimentation time just to see what you can get away with, because they're locked into the 3 seed at this point. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure at this point they're locked into the 3 seed. So it's all about kind of seeing what you can get away with. So that's just this game specifically. Lou Anarumo is very difficult to score touchdowns against. We've seen that multiple years in a row. Like, that's not a fluke. It's just they might need to run the ball a little bit more in some of those 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 situations.
I'm so down. And I love the fact that I'm not the one screaming it from the rooftops anymore. It's not even this channel. All of Chiefs Kingdom has figured out that the run game is actually important again. Holy crap.
Well, for this team, they don't have wide receivers that can catch the damn ball and run the right routes. They have to run the ball.
Right. Jace, thank you for your support, buddy. Thank you, Faithful. That's exactly what we think. Just kind of saving him, let him work into the lineup again a little bit. You want him in the playoffs. You don't want to rush anything or take a chance on him getting injured is all. Dirty, watch MVS be a hero in the playoffs. Stranger crap has happened, right? And if you're going to contribute, I don't think that they're going to make a late season cut. Maybe it would lift the room a little bit. I don't know what the day-to-day is in that room. I got to tell you. But it would not be out of the realm of possibility, Dirty. And thank you, brother, for 25 months in the memberships. Appreciate you. For those of you that are joining and getting the new memberships, all you have to do to get in the Discord, you can get in even at the lower levels, is connect in your Discord settings. You can connect your YouTube account. You just log into YouTube through it, and then it knows who you are. It knows that you're a member and at what level you are, and it lets you in. FLDB set up all that automation. It works like a charm, and it's awesome. So super, super simple. Just check out the Discord settings to get that done. Kevin, do you think they'll cut MVS this offseason? Yes. I don't think he'll remain. If they there will be a riot. There'll be a riot in the locker room.
Like, the only reason, in my opinion, the MVS was on the roster this year is because of the Cincinnati game in the playoffs. The only reason, because he had nothing to hang his hat on until then. Nothing. He has nothing. Not even a good game will save him. He's a bad football player at this point. That's what he is. And I don't care who hears that. He's a bad football player right now. Making excuses for not catching the football, coming in the locker room, answering questions about if I catch the ball or not catch the ball. It is what it is. I'm not going to catch every one of them. That mentality.
That's your damn job.
Yeah. You want to catch every football, buddy. Not, there'll be some that I miss. You want to know why? That's a loser's mentality. That's what that is. He's not a leader in the locker room. He never has been. He was bad in Green Bay. He's bad in Kansas City. Done. Out.
Agreed. Thank you, guys. And thank you, Peter. Appreciate you. Is it just me or is Travis tired? And the look on his face, I'm really concerned about him in the postseason. Makes me feel better. I will tell you this. This is all hangover from the injury the first week of the season, when he had to miss a game for. Excuse me. This, in my opinion, he's never going to be right this season. He has to just work through it. Pain management, swelling management. We might even find out that there's something surgical that has to happen after the season. We have to remember this is also a player that not only hyperextended now, but 10 years ago when he was a rookie had a plateau injury. That is right where the knee sits on the tibial plateau. And that can all be affected by a hyperextension. So I won't be surprised if he needs something and he's just gutting it out right now, to tell you the truth. Maybe that's why he's so frustrated, because he's putting everything out there. And I would not be surprised by that. I don't think it's Taylor Swift. I'm just saying.
It can't be anyone that thinks this Taylor Swift is out of their mind, because he had fantastic football games earlier in the season while she was at games. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Defenses have just said, you're not gonna beat us, basically, and that's been the key. Make everyone else beat you. Like I was talking about earlier, they doubled Travis Kelce and then Rashee Rice, because teams have been like, well, if we don't double him, he's going to beat us. Which, funny enough, Rice has been the one guy this season that has excelled and ascended in this offense. Everyone else has gone the opposite direction.
Yeah.
One guy.
Yeah. That's not enough. It means, unfortunately, I'm still hopeful. They can beat anybody. On their best day, this team can still beat anybody in this NFL. They could go grab another championship. It is possible. If not, it allows Travis a little bit more rest for next season. And I will say that is going to be the bright side no matter what happens when it happens. Peter, thank you for your support and welcome. Appreciate you. Howard, hope you're doing well. Thanks, buddy. Love that we took deep shots. Absolutely.
Me too.
It was all predicated on the early game and drawing them in and making them get out of the too high. If you look, the deep one to Rice, the deep one to Watson, and I believe, I could be wrong on the MVS one, but I believe they were all single high.
I think so.
And that's what Patrick's been waiting for. And by doing the running, by doing the screen game, that's how you get them to drop that second safety and open things up for you. Cheers, Howard. Appreciate you. FLDB, always. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, FLDB.
41 yards on 7 targets. Knocked out of the playoffs. Run your mouth now, Jamar. Yeah, I mean, Jamar talks a lot of trash. He is a good player. But good Lord, man. You haven't won anything since 2019. So just go away. Just shut up. I'm done.
It's funny because L'Jarius Sneed said in the locker room, we heard what Jamar Chase said, but check the stats. L'Jarius Sneed doesn't have to do much talking. All he's got to do is let his play talking. I know he had a play, a penalty, which give it to Chase. He beat him on that play. He got the call. 3 for 41. 3 for 41.
Yeah.
L'Jarius Sneed is a shut down corner in the NFL. The Chiefs have to prioritize him this offseason. Have to sign him, period. You don't come around shut down corners very often in the NFL. He is. He's a lockdown guy. We're seeing it right now, firsthand, watching it.
And honestly, as good as we were happy with the depth at corner, it was exposed tonight. Jalen Watson left the game for a few minutes. Joshua Williams comes in and literally is picked on the next play and gets, honestly, a gross hold. That was terrible. It was not anywhere close to even. So they do need him. And I agree. He's more attainable. He's more retainable. And I think you can afford him better than Chris Jones. I do think Chris gets tagged and traded. I'm glad Chris popped up this week. I was a little worried he was going to stay dormant the whole game. I was a little concerned.
It was looking rough there for a little bit.
Cato, appreciate you, buddy. Tell me why MVS is still out on the field. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year to you, buddy. And we're starting to wonder that ourselves. It's just that Andy is fiercely loyal. He's loyal to Nagy. He's going to be loyal to the veterans in the room because he knows that they have something in their experience to draw on, and he's just going to keep holding out hope that they're going to do it. I think it's a lost cause at this point with MVS, but I don't think Andy does, and I think that's the only reason why.
This is ridiculous, man. Andy Reid's
you guys rock because we have a crap ton of new members. Thanks to Minotaur SSG. Thank you. 5. Thank you, FLDB. 5 more.
with another 5. And we got another one with 10 SSG. What? You guys, thank you so much. Love it. Absolutely love spreading the word of Rogue Nation here. Loving it.
Yes, please. And we very much appreciate you guys, especially when you get a little competitive like that. I kind of dig that. For all of you that are reaping the benefits of the free memberships, get in there, dig around. It's the basic. You get in here, you get the emojis, you get the highlighted stuff, you get the icon. That's kind of just a status thing for the live streams. The next level rookies is where you get all the extra content. So just run in there and upgrade, and you're in like Flynn. It's super, super simple and it's very fast. But thank you to all of our hardcore members for gifting everybody these memberships.
Yes.
We appreciate you. Casey Harold, thank you. Or thank you for your support. Happy New Year, Ryan and Dan. We just witnessed the blueprint for the Chiefs to win games the rest of the season. Yes. Absolutely.
That's exactly what we watched, Harold. Yes. Loving it. That's exactly. And it's okay to admit that the Chiefs can't win football games like they did last year or the year before. That's okay. I think that coming to realize that this is the only way to win football games is the big moment here. Run the ball, play really good defense for the most of a football game. You can't have them continuously let the Bengals do what they did in that first half. But the offense had a lot of really good drives into opponents' territory. Those more often than not won't always end in field goals. And that's the good thing. Like, they did a good job today. I know we don't want to see the field goals, but this is a good win. It is. It's just a good win. And you can celebrate that. And you can see that the defense is good enough for the Chiefs to win football games, even against really good opponents.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's absolutely how they can win these games.
It's going to work. I'm telling you, it will work. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate the help. Rob, do either of you guys chat in any platform during the game? I do not. I put everything into taking my notes and giving you play breakdowns as they happen, who's at fault, that kind of thing. That all goes into my notepad. And that's what I give you guys in the memberships. So I really don't chat. I might throw a tweet out every now and then. Do you do anything, Dan?
I tweet a little bit here and there. I have, a 5-year-old daughter and I watch with my wife. Like, that's where my time goes in my notes. Like, I don't hats off to Cole for doing his live streams for the games. Like, that's awesome. I don't have the bandwidth mentally to take notes, cover a game live, deal with my daughter, maybe get dinner ready every now and then and do all that at the same time. I don't have that bandwidth. So hats off to him. That's fantastic. Can't do that myself.
Yeah, no, he does a great job of just reacting to the game like we all do on the TV. I spend time breaking it down in between every play. As you guys are watching replays, I'm telling you why that happened, writing in my notes so that I can carry forward. So, Rob, if we ever get to that point, I'll let you know. But right now, it all goes into the notes. Marshall, what receivers are you giving the most snaps next week? It's obviously Rice number 1. I will still give Watson some snaps, but I want to see Richie get more. He's made 2 big plays over the middle of the field, again, in the area the Chiefs don't target enough. The defenses allow them to throw balls to. And honestly, I need to pepper in McCole with targets, not just something else. Not just snaps where he's running air routes. You know what I mean? I will pull snaps away from MVS at this point if it's me.
We saw a couple snaps from Justin Ross today in the red zone because that's the only place that they trust him to play football. But at the end of the day, MVS snaps have to go down. They just have to. You have to put maybe you put Rashee Rice into his spot a little bit more, or you just swap 1 for 1 and say, Justin Watson, you're going to be playing MVS's role from now on.
Yeah.
And then you can rotate everyone else out down beneath. You might have to do that because they need to elevate Richie James' snaps and McCole Hardman to get a little bit more when he's healthy. So that's what I would do.
Hell, Noah Gray should get more snaps and more targets.
Oh, I mean, I took notes again. We did the personnel stuff. They had nearly 20 snaps of 12 personnel in this football game. Yeah. They were almost on par with 11. They had almost 25 snaps of 11 and 20 of 12. That tells you how they feel about their team.
Yeah, and they have to go away from that. So more for Noah. I completely agree. I would do that right now, and I would count him as a receiver. And Avery agrees. Brenda, thank you very much.
Thank you, Brenda.
New Year to you. Thank you for being with us on all this craziness that we do. Looks like I'm getting pinged here. We're going to wrap it up with the rest of the super chats here. Minotaur, thank you very much. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
And let me know if you need anything connection wise with Discord. I'd love to see them completing some downfield passes. Absolutely with you, Minotaur. And it took that building to get it there. Let's see. First game rocking my new RGR hat. Harold, I am glad to hear it. That is awesome. Spread the word. I am pumped. And I'll try to get some new ones too. We're a little limited on how much space we have on the hats right now. So looking for a new vendor here. That probably won't happen until the off season though. So just be aware. Justin, nice to see you, buddy. Kelsey, top tight end this season, and people calling him washed. Yeah, he's about to break 1,000 yards. And he's been doing it on, half a leg most of the year. So
yeah, for sure.
It's a little extreme.
The same leg, like ankle and knee injuries on the same leg. Like he's tired and hurt right now.
Agreed. Go for KC forever. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Way to get the win. Way to end the year. And we started the way we started this year. I am glad to see the ball past 10 yards. Absolutely.
Yes.
I think Pacheco brought a spark. Thank you. Great job. Go Chiefs. Thank you, buddy. And thanks for the support. It's been a fun ride, and we're going to keep it rolling here next week. Werewolf, nice to see you back. Hope you're doing well. When was the last time you saw a Chiefs corner hadn't allowed a single TD in a season? It's been since Dale and James Hasty, as far as I understand. I haven't checked all the way back myself, but that's the last time I recall that being a thing. He's got 4 quarters to go. Let's hope that stays intact. Info, nice to see you, buddy. Just want to say thanks and Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you, and thank you for being with us. I know you've been here an absolutely long time, and it's cheers to you. Ms. Holly, thank you very much for your gift of 5 memberships as well. Folks, check them out. Make sure you utilize the gift that Holly's putting out there, as well as all of our other members are gifting as well. We very much appreciate you. Nanya in Camp MVS told Sky, it's just not your route. Seems to be his mentality every game on a positive offense. The offense seems very crisp. It was quicker. Patrick delivered the ball quicker. I am very interested to see time to throw. That's one stat that we talked about last week that we just want to see tempo. I wanted to see him hit his back foot and get the damn ball out. He did that for the most part tonight. And I think that was also part of why this game was successful.
Yeah, we also saw him throw the ball really short on 3rd downs. Not what you want to see specifically in games like this. Granted, they still got the win, but I'd like to see them get the ball out down the field a little bit on these 3rd downs. Get it to the sticks, maybe not behind the sticks. Because Isaiah Pacheco had 7 targets today. He caught all 7 of them, but how many of those were behind line of scrimmage? And how many times have we talked to you guys? Isaiah Pacheco, he is not making anybody miss behind line of scrimmage. He's not making anybody miss to get a 1st down. It's not his game, but still good performance.
I will take it. Thank you, Nunya. Nice to see you. And thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you. Can we just run everyone else for exercise and continue to feed Kelsey, Pop, Gary, and Rice? Yeah. Hey.
Basically.
I'm good with that. I thought P. Ryan put a couple of nice snaps out on tape tonight. Still need to see that, but, we're staring at what the Chiefs are going to do in the playoffs. And if you've just joined us here in the recent bit, welcome to RGR Football. He's Dan. I'm Ryan. Hit the like, hit the sub, and hit the bell. Playoffs are coming. They're pretty locked in. As long as they don't trip themselves, they'll be locked into the 3rd slot. Not a problem. They'll have to go through Buffalo. They'll have to go through Baltimore. I'm comfortable with either of those as they tune up. Playoff Andy, I think, is a step above, so I'm ready to go. But this is certainly a good way to start it, Ryan, in that you have to feed the guys that are playing well, and that it may have to get creative in order to get some looseness. What Rashee Rice did tonight is going to garner him more attention from deep safeties. Let's be real. You might have to get a little bit more creative. You got to do some of the Sammy things with him to get him loose.
Yeah,
I think that they can do that, and I think it'll work. Thank you, Ryan. Rob, what has happened to Patrick scrambling? He seems really off and not getting out of situations as easily as he used to. Do you agree with that?
Well, he's become a focal point of the coaches, of the defensive coaching staffs. They want to stay more disciplined in their pass rush lanes. They don't want to get too aggressive to the inside. They don't want to get too aggressive to the outside. They want to just kind of crowd the offensive line. They want to crowd the pocket. They don't want Mahomes getting out. You want to know why? How many times did Patrick Mahomes throw touchdowns on broken plays? How many times have he made the big play downfield on doing that stuff? So we've seen this season defenses get more disciplined in their pass rush lanes and just kind of squeeze. It's squeezing the pocket. We don't see it a ton. He had to last week because nobody was open. Offensive line was getting their face kicked in every other play, and he didn't have a choice. But defenses, specifically well-coached defenses, and I think that this defensive by Lou and Arumo is well-coached. They stay in those pass rush lanes. They make it very difficult for Patrick to get out and into those and to run for the run for yards. So they did a good job in that game, in this game, in that part.
I agree, and I do think there's something going on with him, Rob. I do think we'll find out about a lingering injury that we were unaware of. Playoffs, Pat, is incoming. I love that, Justin. And you have a good point. When it's all on the line, there's nobody that I trust more. Bottom line, he will get it done to the best of his ability. It's whether his supporting cast will be there to pick up the pieces or not. And I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Right? And that's really right all there is to it, is who can
made
contribute.
it to the dance.
Yeah.
Made it to the dance. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Speaking of the dance, now the pressers are wrapping. I am going to get over to Locked On Chiefs. We're going to be live there in a little bit. I hope that you guys have a great holiday. Be careful out there. It's New Year's Eve. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Just be safe and be careful. We appreciate you guys being with us. Thank you for another wonderful year in 2023. 2024 is going to be a hell of a lot of fun as well. We'll be here for you no matter what. Playoffs, Super Bowl, draft, free agency, the whole 9 yards. Just another turn of the sun. Dan, cheers to you and Miss Avery and Mama. Hope you guys have a great New Year's Eve.
Everybody, thanks. Have a great New Year's and enjoy this. Celebrate New Year's Eve. You guys have something to celebrate today. The Chiefs 8 straight AFC West championships. Like, that's something to celebrate. Yeah. It's a new year. Wipe the slate clean, as they say. You enter into a new year now as a fan of a team with a win in the end here. So that's what really matters, right? So enjoy it. Have a great evening, and we will see you guys soon, like tomorrow.
Have a good,
probably.
Absolutely. Have a good one. We'll talk to you then.